people probably know that this song was recorded, the intro to this song was recorded on a 12-string guitar. They had a pickup in the acoustic guitar. They ran it through a Leslie speaker and just did a few things to it to get that really kind of distinctive sound to it. That's so hard to emulate precisely on just a normal 6-string guitar. But when Don Felder played this on a YouTube video that I saw recently, it sounded almost perfect. It was on a 6-string, and the way he plays it, it just manages to get close to that original sound. So what you heard at the start was exactly how Don Felder plays it, with a pick on a 6-string guitar to get close to that intro sound. Now, because he was the man who wrote the song, you got to think he's the guy that's going to get closest to it, and it sounds pretty good. I think one of the keys is that voicing there over the A, what is the A chord. Now, also Don Felder drops the key of this song to A minor from B minor. So, you know, if you want to play this in the original key of B minor, you just put your capo on the 7th fret instead of the 5th fret. So as we start going through these chords with the capo on the 5th fret, that's your A minor, looks like an E minor chord, and so on and so forth. And you can see it on your chart the way we go through. That's Floyd. He's an Eagles fan. So you can pick this, you can finger pick this, you can use a pick. Like I said, Don uses a pick and kind of rakes through a lot of these chords. That is it on your tab. Download it, follow it through. I'll play it through once more slowly so you can kind of see what's going on. The E minor. This is the B7. Then the D, which is actually a D sus2. And then this chord over the which is really an A, and what is it, an A7 sus2 over a C sharp, if you want to be precise about it, but it doesn't matter what it is, what matters is the way it sounds. 4th fret A string, 2nd fret D string, last 3 strings open. Then you go to the C, nice little run there, and just that hammer on in the middle of the C, going to a G. You can start the G with just that one finger on the top E string, but make sure you get these 2 fingers down by the time you get to the A string. Then to the A minor. Then finish on the B7. That's the intro. And that's the closest thing I think anyone can get to how it sounds on the record. Now, as a little bonus, what we're going to do is we're going to play through these chords, and I'm going to show you how to do this solo, another iconic piece of this song. It's just iconic from start to finish, but the guitar solo in this, a lot of bends, a lot of big bends and delicate bends, and easy to play, not easy to play, fine to play on an electric guitar. But when you're on an acoustic, what we're going to do is we're going to move a lot of those bends to slides. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So here are the chords and the solo over the top and the tab to help you out with it as well. 1, 2, 3. We start here on the 4th beat of a bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Slide with your 2nd finger on the G string from 7 to 9. That's the first replacement bend that we're doing with a slide. Then with your 1st finger play the 8 on the B string, up to 10, and then 8 on the E string. Then come over with your 1st finger again to 8 on the B string, 10, then down to 7 on the G, then slide down, you don't have to slide, just move down to 5, place it across the G and the B strings on the 5th fret, and do that. And you end up on the 6th fret of the D string. After that, just jump up to the 7th fret, hammer onto the 9th fret and back, and then go back down to 6 again. Next phrase, again, finger across the 5th fret on the G and B strings. First time down to 6. Second time down to 5. Then with your pinky or another finger, go to B string 8th fret, slide up to 10. Finger across B and E strings this time, 5th fret. Start with your E string, play those 2 notes, and then slide up. I like to slide up with my 3rd finger because it's a bit stronger. From 8 to 10. And then you're doing that. So you've gone sliding up to 10, back to 8, back to 10, but slide it down to 8, and then lift off to 5. So it sounds like this. Then over to the B string. Then with your 2nd finger, reach across to the G string, slide up to 9, and play the 8th fret on the E string. And that is the kind of the top of the chord that you're landing on here. With most of this solo, it lands on very strong tonal notes for the chords that are underneath it, if that makes sense. Pay attention to it, don't pay attention to it. It's good to know what chords you're playing over at any rate. Anyway, slide up to 9, and obviously this is over a C chord, but play that, then slide down to 7 with your 1st finger. This time you're moving across, you're spanning the G string and D string across the 5th fret. And then you play the G string 5th fret, slide it down to 4 and come back to 5. Okay? And this next phrase, it's all about the D minor. Here is a bend that we shouldn't really get away from, shouldn't really shy away from, because it sounds awesome and it's not that hard. This is a great bend for everyone to know how to do. You, with your 3rd finger, push up on the 7th fret G string, move over to the 5th fret B string. Do it again, this time, instead of that 8th note, 8th fret B string, move across to the 5th fret E string. So it's then. And that one, I find it easier to pull down towards the floor. It doesn't matter whether you push up or pull down. The note still does the same thing. But you bend the note up, bring it back down again, come down to 5, and then slide 7 to 9. So it's like this, that whole phrase. Vibrato if you want. Do it again. This is kind of kicks into the second half of the solo. We go. All the same kind of stuff that we did before. Long pause. Then start with your pinky on the 8th fret B string. That last note on the G string 5th fret, kind of pull down just a little bit, a little tiny bluesy bend there. Sounds really nice. Slide up with your pinky to 10. This next section, I've dropped it down an octave because it would go up too high and end up around the 17th fret, I think, for our acoustics, which is just not that much fun to play up there, to be honest. So we do it an octave lower, 7th fret D string. All slidey pentatonic blues stuff. That little bit there, again, we're emulating these bends, but what you want to do, if you can, is slide down and slide back up from the 9th to the 7th and back to the 9th without picking the note again, because it sounds much nicer that way. Finish up there on the 10th fret of the B string. Into the next phrase. That's another bend, but we're just going to hit that on the 8th fret E string. That's a tricky phrase because you're going to end up on the 9th fret, which is a bit of a stretch. So we go 2 fingers across B and G strings. That note again on the 6th fret D string. And then just slide. It'll take a bit of practice, but just slide to land up on the 9th fret B string. A little tip with your slides, and I should have mentioned this at the start, is when you're sliding to a fret, put your eyes on the fret that you're going to stop at. Don't watch your finger sliding, watch where you're going to stop your slide, where you're going to end up. Another bend that we can't get away from and shouldn't is up here on the 10th fret E string. And gradually bring that down as you play that note over and over again. Start this finger across the B and E strings, 5th fret again. That's a big phrase. Work on that to get it smooth. Last bit. You can play those notes up here on the B string, you can play them down here on the E string, whatever works best for you, but where you're going to end up is up here for the last kind of run out part of the solo. So this little run, I think it's handy to think of the shapes that you're using here in terms of this being a D minor shape. This next one would be an A major shape, and that's the top 3 strings out of one of those open chords. So this is your D minor chord, this is your A major chord, and the D major is the only other shape that we use here. So we start here with our first finger on the 8th fret and do a D minor. Come down to the 7th fret and do an A major shape. And then this is the tricky part with this bit, because it's a bend, but we've got to slide it. So we're sliding from anywhere really, but probably from 10 up to 12. and try and make that note as healthy as you can. Then you come down to a D shape on the 7th fret, A shape on the 5th fret, slide that pinky from 8 to 10, D shape on the 5th fret, A shape on the 3rd fret, slide up to 8th fret on the E string, then down to a genuine D minor, then a D shape on the 4th fret, and then slide up to 7, and you do that over and over again. The other shapes that they use, I will put down here as well and make that useful, because that's the harmony guitar with the super famous harmony guitar, which sounds awesome. There's another sort of parallel part, obviously a harmony part, that goes along with that. That's it. That's the entire solo. What you've got to do, like I said, is just learn those phrases bit by bit, string them together, try and make it as greasy and as smooth as you can with those slides instead of the bends that we really can't do very easily as acoustic guitarists. If you can, knock yourself out. It's great to be able to do a lot of bending on an acoustic guitar, but for a lot of people, it's pretty tough. So this is why this solo as a sliding acoustic guitar transposition is hopefully of use to you. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and let me know if you have, and let me know if you've got any queries, questions, comments at all. I'm happy to hear from everyone. Thanks a lot for watching. See you here again soon.